Hi, welcome to Fletch's Fantasy Factory. I'm Fletcher, and these are my associates, Diesel and Drake. We're going to run through a lot of things on this first episode, so buckle up, alright, because Daddy's in town. Let's start with our Eat, Sleep, and Bust segment. What this is, we're just going to pick some teams and decide each game who's going to eat, who's going to sleep, and who's going to bust. Simple as that. But before we get to that, we've got some selected topics to discuss brought to us by our producer, LCC Tones. Diesel, you can go ahead and dig into it. I'll let you do the honors, partner.
Alright, I'll go ahead and start with the first one. Alright, best team in the NFL. You want to start it, Drake?
Yeah, I can go ahead and start it. So far, my opinion on the best team in the NFL, I would have to go with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Yeah, I know that they lost Week 1. They also didn't have Le'Veon Bell. You still got production out of the backfield with D'Angelo Williams. Defense is very skeptical, but that offense, good luck scoring more points than them whenever you have Bell, Bryant, and Brown all rolling with Roethlisberger. I mean, that's a pretty good lineup.
I'm a Steelers fan, so I know exactly what you're talking about there. But at this point in the season, I'm going to have to go with New England. It really impressed me.
Yeah, I don't know if any of you guys have ever watched, what is it called, Coach Carter, Junior Battle. They win that, like that holiday tournament. He says, "We the champs, we ain't the champs no more." Shaq might have said that too. I got to roll with the Patriots. I mean, their defense isn't where it needs to be, but I mean, you got Bill Belichick back there. He's going to figure things out. If their defense lets up 28, they're going to score 38. I mean, it's that simple. They showed it against the Steelers. I mean, they can score the best of them. So I'm rolling with the Pats for right now. All right, so I'm going to dig in with the second topic here. Let's see what we got. All right, that's a good one. More likely to score 20 plus, Gronk or Le'Veon Bell? Diesel, why don't you start this off? We know you're biased, but let's keep it real here, okay?
With it being Bell's first week back, I'm going to go with Gronk. I think he's playing I'm going to call him a suspect Jacksonville D. I mean, they're not facing Tannehill and Cameron this week. It's Brady and Gronk. I'm going to go with Gronk.
I'm gonna have to disagree with you there. I really think Le'Veon Bell is going to come in and just really light things up. I really do think that Gronk will probably have he'll definitely have a touchdown, maybe 2, but I don't know if he's going to get 80 yards on that because they're going to be playing Jacksonville, and they really like to limit Gronk whenever they can due to the fact that he's been injury prone in the past. I think Le'Veon Bell sees the rock a whole lot, and passing and running, he's going to end up. I think he's going to be a big fantasy play this week.
Well, let's look at what the Jaguars did last week. They played Ryan Tannehill, Jordan Cameron. Now they're playing Brady and Gronk. That's like stepping up from like pee-wee football to the big time, okay? I'm going to have to go with Gronk. He's settled into that system. Bell's first week back against the Rams. I don't know. I think the safe bet would be to go with Gronk. All right. So that was a great discussion. Now let's get into our Eat, Sleep, and Bust, brought to you by Call Pet. Diesel, take us away.
All right, we'll go ahead and get it rolling. We'll start out with Pittsburgh and St. Louis, Fletch.
Pittsburgh and St. Louis. All right. In this one, I got Antonio Brown eating. I mean, he eats all the time on Sundays, before, after, during. Doesn't matter. He's going to eat. He's going to get his. My real sleeper, though, is Tavon Austin. You look at what some of the receivers have been able to do, or not really receivers, but other teams have been able to put up on the Pittsburgh Steelers. Niners have a good day. We knew what the Pats did. They had a good day.
They had a lot of success too, smaller receiver.
Right. Well, Tavon Austin is my sleeper in this one. But, however, my bust is the Rams D. I think Big Ben's going to come in there. I think Big Ben's going to have a good day, spread the ball out. I think they're going to put up numbers.
We'll spring forward to the Bears at Seattle, Drake.
Bears at Seattle. Looking to eat, I really think that the Seahawks defense will do so. They're going to be playing Jimmy Clausen with the Bears. Really, the Bears may be able to establish a run game, but nothing more than that. I see the Seahawks getting 2 picks, and I see that there's going to probably be a touchdown by Tyler Lockett, maybe in the as a special teamer, catching. They gave up a kick return to the Cardinals last week. And I really think that they will honestly score a special teams touchdown this week, which leads me right into my sleeper, who I also think will be Tyler Lockett. Very, very good receiver. but he hasn't really had much of a chance to shine. This is a great week for him to be able to put up some numbers against a very questionable Bears defense. And my bust for the week would be any pass catcher from the Bears, any of them at all. I think the run game will be established. Don't get me wrong there. But I do not think that any of the Bears pass catchers will be able to see any kind of space.
You got to think Chicago's outmatched. With
Oh, very.
Very.
Who do you think they're going to put on Marty B, though, Martellus Bennett?
Oh, they'll shade over one of the safeties for sure.
Okay.
They'll still have to keep Sherman
Chancellor
out one.
Thomas.
Yeah, okay.
It's not too promising.
Yeah.
That takes us to Philly at the Jets.
Philly, okay. So, the guy who I'm going to have eaten this week is going to be Ryan Fitzpatrick. I think he's been steady throughout the season so far, and I don't look for anything to change against Philly. I mean, I've seen what Matt Ryan and Tony Romo and Dallas and company have done to him. My bust, though, really just going to be the whole team of Philly. I mean, not one aspect of their team do I like. I mean, Darren Sproles has been good, Ryan Matthews, they've been good in spurts, but I haven't seen any consistency. And my sleeper is Chris Ivory. He had a good week 1. I don't know. I think he had a pretty good week 2 also. So I'm gonna roll with them until wheels fall off, I guess, at least this week.
You got a young quarterback in Oakland going against Cleveland. What are you thinking?
I think the guy who's probably going to eat the most will definitely be Latavius Murray. With them bringing in Roy Helu, I really thought that his pass production would drop off, but it really hasn't. He's still been catching balls out of the backfield. He's been running the ball well. He's definitely, in my opinion right now, he's a top 15 running back play just about every week. And playing that Cleveland defense, I think that he's going to be a great play to play. And a sleeper, I think a good sleeper out of this one might be Duke Johnson. Honestly, he's been pretty. I mean, whenever he does see the ball, he sees the field well. He's pretty explosive. I think that the Oakland defense is not very good. I think that he could honestly put up pretty good numbers, maybe find the end zone. But as far as a bust, I really don't see a bust here, because in order to be a bust, you have to be able to put numbers up week in and week out, and nobody on either team is really a bust. I would say that if you're looking to play Travis Benjamin again, coming off of his big week from last week, I definitely would not do that. I think that there's not really going to be much of a fantasy value here, with the exception of Latavius Murray.
All right, so no consistency coming from Benjamin.
No consistency coming from anybody in the game other than Latavius Murray.
All right, that takes us to a pretty consistent player, and Peyton Manning going to Detroit.
Yeah, pretty obvious. Peyton's ate his whole career. I think he's going to eat again. He's playing in the Dome in Detroit. We've seen what he can do in a Dome in Indy. It's pretty obvious. My sleeper for this game is going to be Eric Ebron. I think their pass defense is going to focus on Golden Tate and Calvin Johnson pretty heavily. So I think Ebron's going to get some open targets.
We've got to leave there too.
That's
top
true.
Corner.
Yeah, absolutely. And actually, I do have my bust as Golden Tate. Stafford's going to be, I mean, we don't know if he's all there. We don't know if he's going to play or whatever. So I think Stafford's going to know or go to his guaranteed target, and that's obviously Megatron. I think Tate kind of gets skimmed on a little bit this week. So that's who I got for my bust.
And then there's a really intriguing game on Monday night, maybe a better game than people think. Kansas City at Green Bay.
I think that's going to be one of the better games of the week. I really like, as far as an eat option, Jamal Charles. He's going to catch balls out of the backfield. He's going to run the ball well. I know that Marshawn Lynch might not have had the production that people would have expected last week, but I do not think that, I'm not buying that Green Bay run defense, especially looking at week 1 against Matt Forte, a back who's more similar to Jamal Charles, and Matt Forte had fantastic numbers. But my sleep option, I'm going to have to go with James Jones. I mean, honestly, he's not really a great player, but he will have fantasy value this week. I know people are big on him, and he's probably already picked up in almost every league, just due to the fact of the numbers he's put up so far. But I also think that consistency continues this week. And a bust, I don't necessarily. It's really hard to pick a bust this week, but I really think it could be Travis Kelce, because people have been pretty high on him. He's set for a bust performance with Clay Matthews patrolling the middle, and Jamal Charles is really going to see most of those short yard targets, in my opinion.
With those being our picks on those selected games, we'll see how Fletcher feels about his Dirty Dozen.
Alright, so this is what we call Fletcher's Dirty Dozen. What I'm going to do, well, first off, these are the top 6 guys and the bottom 6 guys who I have in fantasy right now. This is currently how it stands. They can change week to week. There can be some variance. It could stay the same. They could remain stagnant. We're just going to have to see as the season plays out, and we'll see where we fall. What we're going to do, though, we're going to start with my top 6 underrated for fantasy purposes. Number 6 on my list is Gavin Escobar. Let's just put it like this. Terrence Williams sucks, okay? He's no Des Bryant, and Jason Witten's getting old. If anybody will be consistent, it's going to be Escobar, okay? He scored a TD last week. Be on the lookout for this guy, I'm telling you, okay? At number 5, I got the Bengals defense. The Bengals defense gave Carr, they just gave him flat out the works in week 1. I mean, he looked like a bust, the biggest bust I've ever seen. And then the following week in week 2, they didn't give Rivers any favors either. Number 4 on my underrated list, we got John Brown. I skipped on John Brown last year in a fantasy league when I was told to take him. Obviously I didn't, so don't let that be you this year, okay? If he's out there, you can get him on waiver wires, trade for him, I would make a move, alright? Palmer likes the deep ball, Brown's a deep ball guy. The Larry Fitzgerald, he's getting a little old. Despite having a big week last week, he was playing the Bears. Let's not, be prisoners of the moment here. He's just getting old, and that's just the way things happen, okay? At number 3, I'm big on this guy. We got Matt Jones, the running back for the Washington Redskins. He's a big back now, okay? He's 6'2", 230. I mean, do I really even need to say more? I probably don't, but I will. Alfred Morris, he's a little bit on the decline here. I don't know if it's Gruden's system or what, but Jones, he runs a 4.6 40. That's not incredibly fast, but when you're at his size, running that speed, that's a whole lot of man coming at you.
It's pretty nimble too.
Yeah, especially in between the tackles, he's not bad. I'd say roll with him till the wheels fall off, especially in keeper leagues. Hold on to him. At number 2, I got Tyrod Taylor. I think Tyrod's proven through the preseason and the first 2 regular season games that he belongs. He hasn't had much help from Shady McCoy yet, but I feel like once they both get rolling, they're gonna work in unison very well. My number 1 rated guy in fantasy. I've been big on him since before the season started. I told people to take him. My friends didn't listen. If you can pick him up, listen to me now, okay? Derek Carr. Okay, he had a rough week 1, but we've already talked about the Bengals D and where they're at. He had a rough week 1 against a surprisingly good Bengals defense. Hey, but he showed his true colors on week 2 now, okay? And you can also look back to his performance as a rookie. In his first 5 starts, he threw for 8 touchdowns, okay? That's more than Andrew Luck, who had 7. That's more than Cam Newton, who had 7. And that's more than Russell Wilson, who had 7, okay? He's letting his numbers do the talking, and I think I'm just going to do the same now, all right? Now we're going to go to what I call my loser 6. These are the overrated guys in fantasy, okay? Okay, I feel bad for starting my list off like this because he's a great quarterback. I think he's definitely a Hall of Famer, Super Bowl champion, but we got Drew Brees, all right? I'm sorry, but he's just getting old. He loses Graham. He doesn't have it like he used to. He's got to prove me wrong to change my mind, simple as that. Number 5, this kind of goes hand in hand with the Matt Jones pick. I'm saying Alfred Morris is my 5th worst fantasy player, or overrated fantasy player, if you will. He's losing his spot to Matt Jones. Matt Jones is a bit of a harder runner, and Morris isn't great in the receiving game. If I had to use 3 words right now to describe Alfred Morris, it would be sell, 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 okay? Trade him right now in your fantasy league. Get something for him while you can, okay? Trust me. At number 4, we got Terrence Williams. Let's just be honest. He is overrated, okay? I drafted him last year in fantasy. He didn't impress me that much. With Dez out, I know a lot of you are looking to pick him up and try to move forward with him. Trust me, he's not even close to Dez. He's known as a deep ball guy, but he's not super athletic and he's not a big guy. He's definitely going to lose the 50-50 balls right now since he doesn't have Romo throwing to him either. It's just the way it's going to be. At number 3, this might be a shock to some people because he's been good in the past, but as of right now, I got T.Y. Hilton, number 3. Hilton has sucked so far because pretty much Luck has sucked so far. Luck's had 2 subpar weeks, and as a result, Hilton suffered. I mean, Hilton can't throw the ball and catch it. That's just not the way it works.
Got to question his durability too.
Yeah, durability's, that's a question mark. So, you might think maybe when Luck gets going, T.Y. will get going. He could, I'm not saying he can't. Like I said, things can change. But if you look, he's going to be sharing the ball with Andre Johnson, Frank Gore, Colby Fleener, and Dwayne Allen. I feel like Andrew Luck, once he gets going, he's going to spread everybody out. He's going to share the sugar. I just wouldn't put all your nickels on Hilton right
Mark
now.
Creek's been getting a surprising amount of targets.
Yeah, he has. And who says that can change, you know? I mean, it might say the same. At number 2 right now, I got DeMarco Murray. DeMarco Murray, in my opinion, has gotten greedy and fat. He signs this new contract, gets complacent, whatever. And then on top of that, his coach, Chip Kelly, has not only stumbled out of the gate, but he's fallen flat on his face. And Murray's right there attached at his hip. I mean, he's right there with him. At number 1, I got another Philadelphia Eagle, Sam Bradford. I mean, if something's good, more's better, right? If Murray's on one side of Chip Kelly's hip, Sam Bradford's right on the other. I don't need to say much more than that. I feel like the numbers do all the talking for themselves. And that pretty much wraps up my Dirty Dozen for the week. You can leave it or take it, but I would definitely take it. So now let's head over to my main man Diesel for Diesel's Dimes.
Dimes is a little bit deceptive considering I took 5 quarterbacks, but these guys can really sling it. First of all, I took Tom Brady. Can't really argue that one. Pretty easy pick. Last week, he torched the Buffalo defense that's considered one of the best in the NFL. Had almost 500 yards. He's turned 7 touchdowns to 0 picks this season, and he plays a Jacksonville defense that's pretty young. I'm going to take the experience in this one. Second, I'm going to take Andrew Luck. He's playing the Titans. Cleveland scored 28 on the Titans last week. I mean, I know Luck hasn't had success yet, but he played Buffalo, and he played another stout defense last week, and the Jets. We're going to take Russell Wilson third. He's playing the Bears. Carson Palmer torched the Bears. And that Bears defense has given up 31 points in week 1 and 48 in week 2. I like Wilson this week. I took Big Ben at number 4. Seems like he's kind of low, but he's playing a Rams defense, playing in the Dome, and they showed some promise against Seattle. Roethlisberger has thrown for 350 yards, or over 350 yards in both games. Gets Le'Veon Bell back. I like him this week. I also like Matt Ryan playing against a Dallas team that's really depleted on offense. I don't see Dallas moving the ball a whole lot, so I expect Matt Ryan to have the ball a lot. He's got Julio Jones. I think he's a good pick this week.
Yeah, but it's probably going to leave a lot of good field position too, since they won't be able to move the ball on offense either.
Yeah, I definitely feel that way. And with that being said, these guys could provide some fantasy, or they could provide some FanDuel value. I know everybody likes FanDuel. We'll go to Drake to get some advice on that.
Now we're going to try to take a look at these guys and see what kind of value they hold this week and see compare that to how much they are on the FanDuel polls, and we're going to see if we can't turn these guys' production into a little bit of cash via FanDuel. So we're going to start off with the most expensive spot in the lineup, and we're going to go with quarterback. And at 6,500, I see Nick Foles being a great option. He's playing the Steelers at home, which the Steelers are going to put up a lot of points. That means that Foles is going to try to keep up with them. Kaepernick in week 2 actually put up 26 points against that defense, and Tom Brady put up 27. So I really like the chances of Nick Foles being able to perform, especially after he put up 19 points against the Seahawks in the Dome. So I'm projecting him to get around 300 yards with 2 touchdowns, which we could translate that into about 20 FanDuel points. For with the $6,500 option is very good. For $6,500 as well, I really like Joseph Randle. He's had 34 touches this season without a touchdown, but he's translated that into 19 fantasy points, and that is without a touchdown. And I really like his chances to do so, because once they get into the red zone, they're really not going to be looking to throw the ball as much with Tony Romo out. So I'm looking at him possibly 100 yards of total offense with 1 touchdown, right around 17 FanDuel points. Devontae Freeman, he's an interesting play here. 40 yard. I could see he's had 34 touches 29 touches this season, which includes the 7 receptions. He's a big play in the passing downs, and I really like him to be able to possibly score against the depleted Dallas offense. And I could see him going for 40 yards of rushing He's not a great runner, but where you're going to get your money is the passing game. He's probably going to find the end zone, 15 to 16 points there. Antonio Brown, great play, no matter what team it is, play Antonio Brown. He's going to see 10 touches, especially against that Rams front seven, where they're going to be trying to get the ball out really quick, and who better to throw it to in the open field than Antonio Brown. We're looking at about 150 yards. I know it sounds like a lot, but it's really not that unrealistic with him. 9 receptions, a touchdown or 2. We're looking at close to 30 points on this guy. So he is definitely a play this week. Julio Jones, I mean, he's been catching everything. I think he's had 22 receptions this season. I'm looking at him to keep up that pace, get about 10 receptions but for about 120 yards. Sure target with a touchdown. Looking at about 20, 25 fantasy points there. Great play this week. Great play this week because he's same price as guys such as Vincent Jackson and Mike Evans, but he's for sure points. Ryan Fitzpatrick loves him. 17 out of his 37 completions have went to Brandon Marshall. Brandon Marshall would be an excellent pickup this week. He's going to be playing against a Philly defense that's subpar, and I see them getting the ball out to him. About 8 catches this week. He's probably going to have over 100 yards, and once they find the red zone, he's going to be their target. You can almost bet on him to score a touchdown.
He did get a lot of targets in that Indy game.
Oh yeah, especially with guys like Vontae Davis, and Philly doesn't have anything near that. So I really like this play here. Charles Clay, great play for the value. He's only 29 or 4,900. It's really cheap, honestly. And he's had 7 receptions this year, but you can't really just look at the receptions alone. You got to look at where they've been coming. I can really see him being in the end zone this week. He's going to be down in the goal line packages, and with the money they're paying him, they're going to want to see some production. I can see Tyrod Taylor hitting him on a few short routes, finding the end zone. I'm looking at him getting 4 receptions, about 50 yards, and possibly finding the end zone. If he can find the end zone, this is going to be a great lineup to play this week because of the value on the guys that are really cheap. And then I don't really know how to pronounce the guy's name, nor do I need to, just in order to put him in my lineup and get money off of him. He is the cheapest kicker, kicker for the Saints. Spell his name Hoceker. It doesn't really matter. I just know that he's going to be a great play. He's going to put in, I think he's going to get around 12 fantasy points due to the fact that the Carolina defense is pretty stout. The Saints have been having a tough time finding the end zone, so I think they're going to be getting into field goal range a lot and just having to settle for 3. I don't see Carolina putting up a whole lot of numbers, so they'll be okay settling for 3. And then defensive play of the week, hands down, Seahawks defense. Definitely going to get a couple picks, especially with Jimmy Clausen playing. And like I said earlier, I really like the odds of Tyler Lockett taking one back to the house this week.
Who do you think they're going to put on Martellus Bennett?
Oh, they're going to have to slide one of the safeties over on top of him. Bobby Wagner is actually pretty good pretty good in pass coverage. I don't see Martellus Bennett. I don't see Alshon Jeffrey. I don't see any of those guys being great plays this week.
Right.
The only way I see the Seahawks losing any fantasy value is if Matt Forte can get his wheels running and take off in the running game. But without anything coming up over the top, that's probably not going to be established. So I really think that this is a great play. We're going Foles, Randall, Freeman, Brown, Julio, B. Marsh, Charles Clay, Saints kicker, and Seahawks. We're going to start looking to wrap things up, and we're just going to go straight into our picks for this week. And these will transition every week. We're going to try to keep a tally and see who can get the most picks right. And we're going to start off with the Sunday noon games, and we're looking at the Pittsburgh Steelers heading into the Dome to play the Rams. What do you like here?
Rams D's good, but Bell's coming back like the Steelers.
Yeah, I think Le'Veon Bell coming back. I think they're going to spread that field out. Antonio Brown's great in space. Their front seven's good. I don't know about their secondary, their pass coverage. I mean, they're probably going to get the ball out. I think too much Steelers in this one. I got the Steelers winning it.
Yeah, I have the Steelers for the same reasons, actually. Now we're going to go to the Chargers versus the Vikings. Who do you like here?
San Diego's been less than impressive. I'm going to go with Minnesota.
Well, look at both teams. They've beaten the Lions this year. They've done it in a little different fashion. But in Minnesota, I got the Vikings taking this one.
See, I'm going to have to go with the Chargers here, strictly because of Phillip Rivers. I think that he's going to go into Minnesota and pull off a win. What about Philly heading to the Jets?
Spread offense with Revis going against Revis. A Revis anchored defense. I'm taking the Jets.
Yeah, I'm taking the Jets. I mean, Philly has literally showed me nothing so far. And correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't you know the Jets? They just torched Indy, right? I mean, they showed
there was no doubt about that.
I don't know why they wouldn't do it against Sam Bradford and that pretty horrendous offense so far. Yeah, I'm going New York.
Yeah, I agree for basically the same reasons. I think that Jets defense is pretty good, and I think that if Philly keeps going the way that it is, I think Chip Kelly might be looking for his job back at Oregon. Look at Tampa Bay versus Houston. Who do you like here?
Can't say I like Jameis, but I like the Bucks.
Yeah, I got Houston winning this one. I think their D's too much for the rookie quarterback. I think Houston gets out of this one.
Yeah, I think Ryan Mallett's going to be able to go pick up his first win with the Texans, so I'm going to take Houston. What about the Saints and the Panthers?
I think the Saints will get on the right track. They'll get a win.
Saints aren't what they were. Being in the dome isn't what it was. I think that Carolina D's too good. I think Cam Newton's progressing. I got the Panthers in this one.
I think that Drew Brees is going to come out and really light him up. I think that he's going to come back and possibly have a good season, so I'm taking the Saints. Now we're going to go to Jacksonville at New England.
New England, no doubt.
I don't have to say anything. New England. We got Gronk. We got Brady. Belichick. I got New England.
Yeah, I can't go against Tom Brady, especially against the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm taking the Patriots. What about the Bengals and Ravens?
Bengals, they've got the ball rolling. I'm going to stick with Cincinnati in this one.
I think Baltimore's overrated. I think Bengals D is underrated. I'm going Cincinnati in this one.
Yeah, I think I'm going to have to agree with that. I really like Cincinnati. I like the way Andy Dalton's been playing. Now, Oakland and the Browns.
Not too sold on Oakland. I'm going to go with Cleveland.
I think Derek Carr showed what he can do, and I think he's going to show it again this week. I got the Raiders.
Yeah, I agree. I think I'm going to have to go with the Raiders. I think it's going to be a very ugly game, but I like Oakland. Colts and Titans.
Colts they're 0-2. I think they're playing a defense that isn't elite. I think they're going to win this one.
Yeah, I think the Colts, Andrew Luck, I think they finally get things in check. I think they win this one.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think the Colts are going to easily take this game. It's the first time that Andrew Luck's probably going to have time more than 2 seconds in the pocket, so I really like the Colts there. What about the Falcons and Cowboys?
Dallas is outmanned, but I think they'll find a way in Jerry Land.
Yeah, I think Dallas just has too much missing right now. I think Matty Ice and Julio Jones are going to get things rolling early and often. I got the Falcons.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with that, Fletcher. I really like the Falcons as well. I think that they're going to be pretty tough to beat, especially with Romo out. Now, what about San Francisco and the Cardinals?
Arizona's at home, and they looked good last week. I'm going to go with Arizona.
Yeah, I think what Kaepernick did last week was more or less a fluke for what he's really capable of. I think that Cardinals D is a little better. I think Carson Palmer's going to have a decent game, and the Cardinals are going to win this one.
Yeah, I'm also going to have to take the Cardinals. The Cardinals are a pretty stout team. I think that San Francisco is not what they were last year, so I'm definitely going to have to take the Cardinals. What about the Bears and the Seahawks?
The best quarterbacks can't win in Seattle. No way Jimmy Clausen does.
Aaron Rodgers can't do it. Yeah, no, I got the better Seahawks in this one.
Seattle all day in this one. Buffalo Bills heading to Miami.
They gave up a lot of yards, a lot of points last week. Buffalo's going to win this one.
Yeah, I got Buffalo as well.
Yeah, I am going to have to disagree here. I really like Miami. I like Ryan Tannehill. I think they're going to be able to get things lined out and really take off this week. Sunday night matchup with the Broncos and the Lions. Who do you like
Peyton
here?
and company are taking that one.
Denver.
Yeah, Denver. Too much Peyton Manning. Monday night, Chiefs and Green Bay.
Tough to go against Rodgers at Lambeau. Packers.
Packers, man. Rodgers at Lambeau, like he said.
Yeah, agreed 100% there. Too much Aaron Rodgers, too much Lambeau. They're going to be leaping a whole lot there. I'm taking the Packers.
Well, from all of us here at Fletcher's Fantasy Factory, I'd like to thank you for watching and join us next time.
I only call you when it's